Good morning to all of you. So we have started this chapter and we have covered till exercise 13.1 and I have started exercise 13.2. So let's resume our discussion of this exercise, and the method that we are going to use is grouping of the terms. So again we can see here that we cannot take anything common of these all the four terms. So definitely we have to use the grouping the term method. So this is my first group and this is my second group. So from here, see a cube and a square b. So I will take a square as common. So it will be a minus b. Now in this again, see ab square and b cube. So HCF of these two terms will be the least power of the common term. So common term is b, least power is square. So it is a minus b again. Now again you can see in these two terms, which method I will use? We will use the common term method, that is a minus b is common. So I will take a minus b out. So what is left? A square plus b square. So this is our final answer. Similarly here again, let this is my first group and let this is my second group. Suppose if I make the group of the consecutive terms, and if it may happen that they are not forming the group, then you can shuffle the terms also. So let's see, it is 1 plus x. Now in this xy and x square y, so two terms are there. So what will be the HCF? Least power of x, that is x, and least power of y, that is y. So what I am left with? 1 plus x. See, so again we have two terms. Now in these two terms 1 plus x is common. So I will take 1 plus x as common. So what is left? 1 plus x. Let's move on to this question. So in this it is 8 into 2x minus y. And how we can identify these type of questions? See, 2x minus y. So some multiple of this term is actually written here, that is 8x plus 4y. So if I multiply this expression by 4, so what it becomes? 4 into 2, 8, 4 into y, 4. So that means a multiple of this term has been written here. So what I am going to do? I am going to take 4 minus 4 as common. So it will be 2x minus y. Okay, now this type of question we have already done. So among 8 and 4, the HCF will be what? 4. Okay, and 2x minus y square, 2x minus y, no power, that means power is 1. So lowest power, that is 2x minus y. So what I am left inside the bracket? 2 into 2x minus y minus 1. And when I solve it, it will be 4 into 2x minus y and 4x minus 2y minus 1. Okay. Then, now let's see question number 11. Questions like of this: x, y, 1 minus 2x minus 2y square. Okay, so in this question, see, now I have how many terms? 1 and this a whole term. Okay, because a multiplication sign is there, and 2y square. So now I cannot take these two terms, although x and x are common. So in these type of questions, what we will do first? First we will solve the bracket. So it becomes x into y into 1 minus 2x square y minus 2y square. Okay, like this. Now let's do the very first process like we were doing. I will make the consecutive terms as their groups. So this is x cube, this is x, so I will take x as common. So what is left? X square plus y. And if I got this term here, that means my procedure was correct. So here I will take 2 and
2, so I will take minus 2 as common. Now x square is not there, but y and y square, so y I will take common. So what I am left inside? X square plus y. See, again I got this term as common, like I have got in a many, almost each and every question we have got the terms like this. So now I will take x square plus y as common. So what I am left inside? X minus 2y. So questions like so this, whenever there is certain bracket, you first solve the brackets, open the terms, then you can make the groups with the consecutive terms if it is possible. If you got the common terms, then you can factorize. By the way, if you do not got the common terms, then you can shuffle the terms. Okay. Let's see question number 14. X square minus y plus 5 into x plus 5y. Okay. So again, we have to solve the bracket. X square minus xy minus 5x plus 5y. Okay, let's solve this question by shuffling the terms. So I will write minus 5x here, and let's see if we can factorize it or not. Okay, this time I have shuffled the terms. I have made these two as groups. So from here you can take x as common. It becomes x minus 5. And from here I can take minus 5. See, again I am able to bring the common terms in both the individual terms. So now again x minus 5 is common, so I am left with x minus 5 into x minus y. X y square minus x minus z into y minus z. Okay, so again we have to first solve these brackets. So they can be easily opened, we have already learned. Now from these two groups, from here I will take x and y as common, so it is y minus 1. From here z as common, so y minus 1. So finally y minus 1 is the common term. Our answer is xy plus z into y minus 1. So in all the questions we have seen, we have to form the groups because we are not able to take out anything common from the individual terms. Then after forming the group, either you can make from the consecutive terms, or you want to shuffle, you can shuffle. Then you have to again take out something common from the respective groups so that you will get a common term in both the individual terms. So this is the end of this exercise 13.2. Next we will see how to use the few identities to solve the questions. Okay students, so let's see few identities which we will be using now and which are very helpful for you. Okay, so these are the three algebraic identities that we will use for the next exercise. First is a plus b whole square. So suppose if something like this is given, a square plus 2ab plus b square, then we can convert this whole expression into a plus b whole square. Similarly, a minus b square is a square. Previously it was plus, but now it comes minus 2 into ab plus b square. And this very important identity, one more, a square minus b square. Okay, so these two are different. It is a minus b whole square, it is a square minus b square. So its identity becomes product of two terms, that is a minus b into a plus b. Like if I write, suppose 5 square minus 4 square. So I can solve it like this: 5 plus 4 into 5 minus 4, that is 9 into 1, that is 9. Okay, the thing that we have studied in the square root chapter, the difference of consecutive squares is actually equal to addition of those two numbers. And how we got this thing? We got this thing by using this identity, a square minus b square. So in this manner, these identities are very helpful in order to factorize the lengthier algebraic expressions. Okay, so let's see how we will use these identities in this exercise 13.3. Very first question is there: a square plus 2a plus 1. Okay, so let's see the very first question: a square plus 2a plus 1. Now, the methods that we have studied so far in this chapter, that is common term, you cannot take anything as common. Even if you make the groups, suppose if you make the groups, then what you will get? A common, a plus 2 plus 1. So again, it is not factorized, because factorization means whenever you can write any algebraic expression in terms of product of two individual algebraic expressions. But here, when you use the grouping method, you are getting a into a plus 2 plus 1. So again, it is not factorized. So now we will see the third method, that is identities. So how we will use this method? See, it is a square plus 1. 1 we can easily write 1 square. Now when I write this, I have two things in mind. It can be a plus b whole square or a minus b whole square. So what was the formula? A square plus b square plus 2ab. So if my 2ab is satisfied in this, then I can easily write in terms of this identity. So let's see what is 2ab. So 2 into a and b is our 1. Now you can see it is 2 into a into 1 will give you 2a. That means it is what written actually? It is written actually a plus 1 whole square, or we can write it like this also. Okay. Similarly, see this one. It is 25x square. So we all know square of 25 is, square root of 25 is 5, and this we can 5x square. Now this term I am writing it here, 4y square I am writing as 2y square. Okay. Now see, it is 20xy. Now I will check the middle term. Okay, we are always checking the middle term. If a square and b square are satisfied, then middle term should also satisfy. That means 2a is 5x, b is 2y. Now if you multiply it, what you will get? Say 2 into 5, 10 into 2, 20xy. That means what actually it is written? It is actually written 5x plus 2y whole square, or 5x plus 2y into 5x plus 2y. Okay. So we can only use this identity if a square and b square are there, and this middle term should also satisfy. Okay, suppose the things were like this: a square minus a plus 1, and suppose it can be written, okay, it can be also written, but when I want to write, what I will get, minus 2 into a into 1, that is minus 2a. Now this middle term is not satisfied, so we cannot write a square minus a plus 1 as a plus 1 or a minus 1 whole square. So this middle term should get satisfied first. Next is this one. So this one we can write 1 square, then this we can write 2x square. Now here is the minus sign, so I will write minus 2 into a is 1 into 2x, and what actually it becomes, minus 4x. Now since it becomes minus 4x, so middle term is satisfying, a square and b square is there, negative sign is there, so it is actually 1 minus 2x square, or you can write 1 minus 2x into 1 minus 2x. Okay, so whenever you want to use these identities, then for these two identities this middle term is very important. If it cannot be satisfied, then you cannot write the expressions in this form. Okay, now let's see the use of a square minus b square. So see question number 2. Okay, so again first two methods we cannot apply. Now a square minus b square, okay, you want to apply it, but a square is there, maybe b square is there, but plus minus 2ab is not there. So now coming to the third one, that is a square and 4 can be written as 2 square. So which identity is matching now? So this is your a, this is your b. So what will be the answer? 5x minus 2 into 5x plus 2. Similarly here 9 is 3a square minus 4b square. So what you will get? 3a minus 4b and 3a plus 4b. Similarly here it is 4x and 121 is the square of 11. So again a square minus b square. So 4x minus 11y and 4x plus 11y. See how easily we can use this identity. Only thing what we need, the two square terms, that is a square and b square, and the negative sign between these two terms. So 49 is the square of 7, L square is the square of L, then it is square of 6, so it becomes 7L minus 6n and 7L plus 6n. Okay, so we have used, and for using we should keep this identity in our mind. Now let's see a few other types of problems related to this. Some different types of problems, like one problem Okay, now see, this problem is relatively different from these four problems we have discussed. In this, x square means a square is there, and instead of b, it is written as y plus z. But still, it is y plus z, but it is having the whole square. So we can take it as a, and this whole term we will take it as b. So it becomes x plus y plus z. Okay, and x minus y plus z. So that means it is x plus y plus z and x minus y minus z. Now in this, it is x square is there and a square is there, then b square, but this term is also there. So it is not letting us to use that identity. So what I can do, suppose if I look it very carefully, and if I remember I have used a square plus b whole square. So let's check if it becomes a plus b whole square. This is 3 square. Let's check the middle term, 2 into x into 3. See, it becomes 6x. Okay, so middle term has been matched. Now, this I am writing as 5b whole square. So this is actually what is written. Plus sign is there, a and b are there. So actually it is written as x plus 3 whole square. Now we can easily factorize. It becomes x plus 3 plus 5b and x plus 3 minus 5b. So we have used both identities, that is a plus b whole square is there and a square minus b square also we have used. Now the questions may be like this, where you cannot, you are not having the perfect square terms. But if the question is like this, we can remember the very first method that we have stated, that is common term method. See, 2 and 8. So the 2 will come out, x and x cube. X will be there. So what is left? 1 minus 4x square. Although it has been factorized, but if we see carefully, this term can now again be factorized. So you cannot leave your answer till here. You have to write one more step, that is 2x into, this is 1 square, and what is 4x? 2x whole square. X, this is 1 square minus 2x whole square. So finally you will get 2x into 1 minus 2x and 1 plus 2x. Okay, so that will be your final answer. You have to factorize till the terms inside the bracket are factorizable. Since it was factorizable, so we have to factorize it again, and after factorizing, this is our final answer. Now in this again, if you see very carefully, we can take x square as common. Is it or not? So what is left? 16 minus x square. But is it completely factorized? No. Because again, this can be written as 4 square. This is already square. A negative sign is there. If positive sign was there, then it will be factorized. So what will be our next step? We have to write it like this: 4 square minus x square. That means x square into 4 minus x and 4 plus x. Now it is completely factorized. Okay. So we have to factorize till all the terms are completely factorized. So we have discussed few questions related to a plus b whole square and a minus b whole square and a square minus b square. In the next video, we will continue our discussion of this topic. Thank you.